Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Here's the last games of July 1982. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for August, so let's go out with a bang. We were last playing Viper on the Atari home computer. Let's see what's next. It's time to bust out a big one. Here it is on the TRS-80 Radio Shack computer. Warriors of Raz, Volume 2, Cave. Cave? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Let's see what the box looks like for the second in the Warriors of Raz trilogy. So this one is the re-release box you would have seen around 1983, the only one that I could find. But yeah, the same character you're going to be playing on the front that we saw in the first game, Dunzin. And here we go in the second of the trilogy. Welcome to Raz, a world entered only through Screenplay's new adventure series, The Warriors of Raz. This superb collection of graphic role-playing games promises to bring hours of fun to exercise your wit and reasoning skills. Each game is made up of randomly designed mazes, monsters, and confrontations. Even beginning role players can create strong warriors and save them to play game after game. It's another rogue-like experience. This is by Randall Don Masteler. You need 48K to play this. Number of players is 1. It says complexity on a scale of 1 to 10 is 6. Only 6 for this? I'd give it higher than that. And you can see all the different systems that it's going to be available on. Here it is on the very first one, the TRS-80. So let's take a look at the manual for Warriors of Raz. Oh, yes. So we don't need to do anything fancy. Just call it Cave. Cave. And over on the left side, we have the loading instructions. This is another one of those games or role-playing games that allows you to save a character on one title, kind of like Dungeon Quest series, and then you can load that character again and continue to play with the same character you had before. Thank you, Dungeons & Dragons. Warriors of Raz allows you to save and load old games and characters, so you can save where you left off and save characters. Before starting, please note the spelling of the cave as given above is intentionally different. The game you're about to play is so different from any other one you may have seen in the past that it wasn't right to use the same spelling. Cave was created by an avid fantasy role player for use with another avid FRPer. Thus, there was never a certain way to proceed or a positive way of winning. There's just many ways to try, each with its own chance of success. The scenario is simple. You're a level 1 warrior, or a beginner. You outfit yourself with a sword, suit of chainmail, and other objects. Find the treasures to go inside the pits. It's a dungeon quest style game. Or so you'll be just traveling around in dungeons, just like most roguelikes. In simple terms, that's the game. If you're brave enough to challenge the Cave, read on. And then they tell you about the second edition. I would recommend, if you haven't played this series before, whatever character you had in the first of the game, save that character because it's really helpful to have him in this game. You're going to be kind of behind the times if your experience sucks. So the objective is just amusement. How far can you get? How much money can you get? How much fame can you get? So it doesn't have like a save a princess or damsel in distress or something magical we're supposed to obtain. It's true dungeon crawl. So they have specific rules involving this game and an interesting battle mechanic that's different to other ones. It involves a lot of randomization. Oh yeah, brutally hard. When we played the first one, I still would say of all the games you could play, it's impressive, but I'd still say 3.5 stars. So it has principles of fantasy role-playing games. Let's see over here on the left side. It says you're going to need, here we go, the items you're going to need to play the game. I have to have an appropriate personal computer. You got to have an imagination, and you got to have courage, and you need to have time. That's all you need. That's all you need to play the game. And then Cave has different floors. We have 5 separate ones. I think there was only 4 in the first one, but don't quote me on that one. You move around using directions like north, south, east, and west on your keyboard, and you're controlling a character kind of like the Dungeon Quest series from the top-down view or other dungeon crawl style games. And then you specify the movement of how to get your character around. It also is mapping the entire game because since it's a roguelike, you go in the game and it's a new experience every single time. It's going to map it out for you. This is one of the first ones, at least the first in the trilogy, that had an auto map feature. And this one's no exception. Cave keeps it going. And then we also have random different facts that you can check on how well you're facing, like the score, how well you're doing. And then you can also type query if you want to know what commands you can type in. This one changes from the first in the series by adding a store that allows you to go back and buy things. It's very limited considering we've already seen Ultima and Wizardry, but it still has that on top that's different from the first one. And so it shows you how to buy items. It also explains your inventory. You can have 36 different types of objects, and you find different ones and treasures around the dungeon. There's traps to avoid, cliffs you have to climb out of, pits and so forth. And then we have different things you can do at the store, like swapping things, fetching things, storing items, because if you have too much, you get over encumbered. You also need food. You also need water. Oh man, they included those. That's why I knocked this one down a peg, considering the other games that were out there. That's right. Maybe you could call this behind the times, but it still is 1982. This is still very ambitious. This is the very first time we're going to see the Warriors of Roz here on the TRS-80, and it's going to be released in other places too. And then we also have Get, Draw, Pick. Yeah, eating and drink. Oh man, due to biological reasons, it's necessary to eat and drink from time to time. Why did they include that? I don't know. And then how to get torches, lighting them and extinguishing them. You have 8 different rings which can be found in the game, and you can use to wear them and use them. So it has a text parser that allows you to type in how to use your inventory. Then we have magic wands, potions, wall crashing, typos. The program is perfect. Humans, unfortunately, are not. Therefore, it's quite possible to make mistakes. If there's an error in judgment, you can get hurt and possibly die. You erred in typing. The program checks to ensure that the command was a valid one. So it tells you, are you sure you meant that? Kind of a nice feature. Slight quality of life there. And then the battles. This is where it gets interesting. This game allows you to attack certain places and to explore or find the weaknesses of the enemies you're encountering. It's all based on text described on the screen. So you say, I want to hit this enemy in the head and determine if they are weak, like a tarantula is weak in the head. You'll never know until you try it out for yourself. So it does take trial and error. It is very, very difficult in that part. I mean, look at this. Look at all the places you can try to hit. Head, chest, right arm, right leg, neck, right forearm, right hind leg. Crazy. And make sure you're wearing armor before you attempt to do battle, it says. So besides that, there's a lot to go in with fighting. There's also monsters, 24 different types of monsters in the Cave. They are divided into 3 broad categories of nastiness, 8 low, 8 medium, and 8 high. And the addendum for monsters is in this manual, I think so. Yeah, there it is over on the right side. And then every monster you defeat by fighting gives you experience points, defeating 5. If you're a 10th level warrior, you defeat 1 lowly skeleton, you receive virtually no experience for your trouble, so you have to take on things that are harder. And then we have a legend that you can refer to, and some tips and tricks. And then over here on the addendum of all the enemies, wolves, ghouls, zombies, skeletons, and very similar to, again, the Dungeon Quest series, you'd look in the manual for what you're encountering, because on the screen, you don't really have a big graphics display of these enemies. Fighters, dwarves, elves, lions, direwolves, ogres, gargoyles, cockatrices, gorgons, harpies. Loving the artwork they give us to get us in the zone playing some role-playing games. Yes, if it doesn't, then it gets points down and we'll take them out. Warriors, goblins, manticores, cave bears, griffins, vampires, wraiths. Yeah, bring them on. Wyverns, trolls, lords, so cool. And then they hear the experience points you need to level up and play. That's us. Yes. Oh man, the chest is waxed. And yeah, this manual is the one that came out in 1983. I don't have the one that came out in 1982 tracked down. Let's pop it and play Warriors of Roz Volume 2 Cave by Randall Don Masterler, published by Med System Software at sometime in July 1982. So this one is going to randomly generate the entire world for us, or the dungeons, as we go through them. So it does have a little bit of loading. Thankfully, though, we fast forward and speed through that stuff, so it's no problem. So the dying of thirst and the dying of hunger they added on for this one compared to Dunzine. I don't know if you'd call that a quality of life, though. It sounds pretty bad. So here you go. Let's go. The very first time you could play Warriors of Roz. Do you want to play a save game? No, we don't. Do you want to play a saved character? No, we don't have anybody from the last one. We're outside the Cave. Your options are to quit, buy, enter, stash, retrieve, and look at your inventory. We got nothing, so we're here to buy. And here's what we got. 2,000 gold. I'm guessing gold. And then we can buy armor, sword. Let's go ahead and do what we want. Let's get some armor. And we want to buy one of those. 1,700 remaining. So this whole store example wasn't in the first one. They added this for this. And then let's do a sword. Got to have one of those. I'll take one. I don't remember if the weapons wear down or not. Like I need to buy 5 swords or not. All right, so let's do a torch. I'll take one of those. And then you can see on the right here above my shoulder is flint and steel, rope, mystery sword, pick, mirror, like other things that you could. Magic sword, 3,000. That just uses all the money we have. Why not take a pack? I'll take one of those. And then we got to have food and water. I don't know. It's going to be like a Calibeth where you take a few steps and then die. So let's do food. I'll take 50 of those. And then water, I'll take 50 of those. Buying food and water. We got 40 left. Do we have anything else? 40, nothing. I'll do flint and steel. I'll buy 4 of those. Exhaust all the money. Let's use it all. That's it. And clear for inventory. So if we hit that, it shows us what we got. Nice. Very good. Money remaining 0. And then we're back. So now we're ready to enter. Let's go. No need to turn back now. So here we go. We're in. This is using ASCII or no graphics character. So I am the Y, and moving around the dungeon, you can actually hurt yourself running into walls. So in the top left, you can see I'm revealing the map one at a time, nice and easy now. Can I go down this corridor? I can. Oh, it's open. We're exploring the dungeon. We've encountered 2 dwarves. A fight is desired by the dwarves. Instructions. What do we want to do? I'm going to run. Oh, I'll flee. Sorry. He's going for the right arm. They're already starting the attack, and he missed. So we have to give the instructions. Let's attack. Okay. He's going for the right arm. He hit the right arm. We got 2 points of force. And you can see over on the right above my shoulder showing the monster count of 2 different people. And we already died. Oh my gosh. In my playtests, I didn't die this fast. I didn't run into 2 enemies at once. I only ran into once. We regret to inform you the hazards of cave have defeated you. And there's our gravestone. Nice touch. Maybe I should have gone for the mirror instead of food and water, Victor. Better luck next time. Yes, it is permadeath like most roguelikes. This is starting to become a theme. You start a live show. You never know what's going to happen whenever we play this. All right, let's go in again. So this will be a totally different dungeon. It's going to randomize the whole thing. Yes, Errol, I'm with you. Brutally hard, just like the first Warriors Roz game. No, we don't want to play any. We don't play a save character. No, we don't have any. We can't do anything. Now, does it save where we had before? Do we have anything in inventory? No, we got nothing. So we got to go in the shop again. Buy that armor. I'll take one of those. The armor didn't even help us. Buy the sword. I'll take one of those. We'll forget the torch. Let's just go with food and water. I'll take 50. That should last me long enough for the live stream. And then let's do another one with water. 50 of those. What is this? 50 bottles of water? What do I mean by 50? How am I getting 50 water? I don't know what that means. All right, so that's enough for there. Let's go. Enter. All right, we're here. Totally different dungeon than we had before. Who knows what's going to happen? That was kind of the fun of roguelikes, getting to experience it for the first time. But it also puts you on your toes because you start to invest in the character. Oh, what's this? Is this a trap? A pit. Darn, we fell. We got 8 points of damage. We already died. We already died falling in the pit. That's how brutally difficult it is. Wow. So I still hold that it has ambition. It's obviously not as good as the other roguelikes we have played on the show since the beginning of time. We haven't played the original Rogue that was on mainframe because we don't do mainframe games here. But the aesthetic of this one, the brutal difficulty of the game almost brings it down a peg, but it still is enjoyable and very ambitious. So I'm still thinking 3.5 stars of all the games you could play on a home computer, just like the first one. All right, I'm buying the mirror this time. This will be our last one. No, we don't want to go to save the game. No, we don't have a character because we can't go anywhere. Let's go. Buy the mirror, the mystery mirror. I'll take one of those. How many mirrors can you buy? All right, let's buy the armor. I know we got to have armor. And we'll go for the sword. Sword, I'll take one of those. And then I know we're going to go for food and water. I haven't seen myself die of exhaustion, but I don't want to do that. I don't want it to happen. All right, let's go water. Take 50 of those. And don't fall into any pits. Don't go over any zeros. Okay, let's go in. Okay. All right, completely new spot that we were before. Oh, I think I went to the left, so I left. At the end of the excursion, we reached level 1. So if you go to the left, you leave. That result is poor. Okay, let's bring us back in. And we're in. Built a whole new place for us. One zombie's coming. I am going to try to run. Let's flee. Quick, run. They missed. Now this free blow is done. Let's see if you escaped. Checking for advancement. No advancement. You're still at level 1. Can I go? Yes. Okay, so it did work. Nice. Fleeing worked. It's almost like they rolled the dice to see if I could had the chance to flee. Just like playing Dungeons and Dragons. A gust of wind, extinguish your torch? No way. Can I No, now I'm going dark. That's so crazy hard. So now the whole map is gone. I can't see anything. I'm probably gonna bump in a wall. And look, I fell in a pit. The fall gave me 2 points of damage, but I'm still alive with 3 points of defense. Now just pull yourself up. Heave ho! You're at the side of the pit now. Okay, so we still made it. And we've encountered 3 zombies. Oh my gosh. Now, something to consider too is this game was intended for you to take the character you played in the first of the series and bring it over to this one. So in a sense, this is why this is so difficult, because I'm starting from scratch. If we had a character we had played, level 10 or so on the first game, then brought it here, this would be a different experience. It explains why I'm dying so much. But I still hold this series is a pretty cool game, fun to play for this period of time, and for something that is taking the Dungeons and Dragons and giving you something new to experience. Oh yeah, take turns, because every time you die, you and your friend could play. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know what's included in the standard pack either. So of all the games you can play on a home computer, are you with me? You think it's 3.5? Considering everything you can play on a home computer, it is a cool roguelike, but it obviously you need to have a character that you've worked with and experienced on the first game, which means what's going to happen when we play and boot up the third in the trilogy, which will be on the TRS-80 before we end the year. Yeah, I'm seeing 3.5 as well from Errol. Very nice. All right, after that monster of a game, that's a big one. Let's go to our next title. From the TRS-80 to the Coco, here it is, Warrior. Warrior. Let's see, Warrior. All we got is the advertisement from Go Sub International. Head-to-head combat in a game where you and your opponent are rulers of warring city-states, each trying to destroy the other. You decide how many of your population will be warriors, farmers, factory workers, and scholars. And look what else is advertised here. Mercenary Force, which is very similar, and Space Merchant. This one doesn't say how many players, but it's only $10. Really good deal. Let's pop in and play Warrior by Paul Herder, published by Ghost Sub International at sometime in July 1982. Yeah, it is fun. All right, so if this one's going to look a lot similar to another game we played called Viking, and then another one on the Apple II called Taipan, it is like not a business management simulation, but it's you're going to do a strategy simulation of managing warriors. At least this isn't like Conflict on the ZX Spectrum, where we're having to manage where to drill oil to make money for our resources to fight. All right, we want instructions. Yes, we do. Warrior is a 2-player game. You got to have 2 people. Each warrior chief decides what his subjects are going to do. You can take on consideration the amount of food, weapons, and farming tools you should produce. Each of these factors, plus how many people you support, govern the number of soldiers you can put into the field. Sound familiar to some of the other ones we played? This was originally on the TRS-80 by Gary Brown and Bob Moran, and we didn't see that one. We are playing the Coco version, so if you're more familiar with the original TRS-80, this was essentially ported from there. Winning a battle does not win the war. You have to use your intellect and decide when to negotiate and when to sue for peace. The game lasts 20 years, or 20 turns. If either side's population becomes twice of the other warrior chief, the game's then over. If the game continues for over 20 years, the warrior chief whose city-state has the larger number of people will win. Remember, each decision you make will have effects on the whole city-state. That's right, like all the other strategy titles we played, or tactical titles. Do you think you can be a great warrior chief? Enter the world of warrior chiefs and city-states and don't lose your head. You have to enter 2 digits for everything, so 0, 1 to put everything in. Slightly clunky, but not too much. Hey, I see someone else in the chat there. So we have names of 2 warrior chiefs. So you have to play with 2 people. So I'm going to go with Chrono as the first warrior chief, and last person in chat was Don. Don's the second warrior chief. So Chrono's got 50,000 subjects and Don's got 50,000. Now here's what you do. This is unique to these kind of style of games. It's not hot seat style. You actually have all the commands and everything is all on one screen. So when you play with someone else, you're putting in the command for like changing soldiers up. So for example, whenever you decide to add soldiers, farmers, tool makers, weapons, scholars, and then how many you have unemployed. So I'm just going to say we're not going to do anything yet, but if you wanted to make changes and buy soldiers, farmers, and so forth, you're doing it all here on both sides of the 2 players. So we'll do 11 And for peace, for war, we're going to do for war. Your troop strength was equal. Neither side won. Each lost 10%. Chief Kronos' crops were partially destroyed by locusts. Okay. And then there's our subjects that we got less. Now we have to decide what to do with them. So now we have some unemployed, and now you determine what you want to do with the unemployed. This is a bare bones, I'd say even less than Viking that we saw on the Coco, and even lower than Mercenary Force, because Mercenary Force was actually fun. Being in charge of a band of rebels was kind of a cool idea, but this is even more simplistic than that. So I'm not going to go any further because it's kind of a throwaway title, really quick, easy one, almost like someone experimenting with let's make a tactical strategy game. So of all the games you can play on a home computer, Warrior is a lower one. I'm going to say even of all the games we've seen so far, I'm going to say it's in the bad range. 1.5 stars for Warrior. There's a lot of other ones out there, and there's other ones out there you could play on the Coco. Yeah, Viking, yes. Oh, and later ones. We know they're coming. You have foretold it. All right, so after Warrior. Yeah, that's true. Not as impressive. Let's press forward and see our next game. All right, this is on the Commodore VIC-20. Time to go to the United Kingdom and play The Wizard and the Princess, but not the one you think of. Not the one by Sierra Online. This is a completely different title. Let's take a look at the artwork for Wizard and the Princess. This is by Clifford Ramshaw. Way to go, Clifford. It's a multi-part adventure. This game is so ambitious. This is doing something that almost no other adventure games have done. If you look at the front of the box, they're actually giving screenshots of the game, of the first section, which is a first-person perspective. The second section of the game is a side view action view where you're fighting with a sword. The third part of the game is a 3D maze from a first-person perspective. And then the next part of the game does a top-down dungeon crawl just like Dungeon Quest. And then the last section is a 2D scrolling game where you're rescuing the... It's just doing a lot for a graphic adventure game, way beyond most of the other things we've seen. And there's the cassette we're going to pop in to play Wizard and the Princess. I think we have, yeah, just an alternate version. Let's pop it and play Wizard and the Princess. Clifford Ramshaw, published by Melbourne House at some time in July 1982. Yes, the castle graphic. All right, so here we go. This one, I'm going to speed it up. We're fast forwarding so we don't get the authentic experience. And the game begins right here. It starts on a field like this, and you can hear like wind blowing in the background. Very bizarre choice of concept, but we're on top of a cliff playing the game. Now, before I get into this, because of how many different game modes this has, there's only a few games out there that try to change up the adventure genre. We obviously know text adventure games, but there's games out there like Adventure to Atlantis that have different modes besides just the normal graphic or text parser. This one goes way beyond that. Another one that comes to mind is Prisoner that we've seen that changes up how to play an adventure game. This one is way ambitious. So just imagine we're on the top of a cliff and I want to turn left. So I'm going to turn to the left and it has to redraw the whole screen as if we're swerving to the left on top of the cliff. There we go. We redraw. So now we're looking left. Now if I want to walk forward, watch what happens. There's me falling off the cliff. You literally tumble down and fall off the side and die. So the whole point of the first part is just to get to the second part of the game inside the castle. Such a weird idea. So we've died. It's already redrawn the screen. We're back at the top. Let's turn to the right. We'll actually do this correct. Oh yeah, the box art was interesting because they included screenshots of every game mode. And let's turn to the right again on top of the cliff. It's going to redraw it for us. Patience. Patience, just watch. And we found a path. So you would have to experiment in this mode because we're not using a text parser. We're just turning directions. And now we want to go forward. We hit F on our VIC-20 keyboard. We go forward. We follow the path. Look at this. They have some birds chirping in the forest. I don't believe we've heard much ambiance in video games, but doing this on the VIC-20 is just so bizarre. And then what do? We're going to that castle. Let's go forward. Castle gate raises up. Very nice. This is on stock. Unexpanded VIC-20. At least what it said on the box. Yeah. All right, so now to do the next chapter, you have to load that up on your system. So we're going to load up the next chapter, which is going to be totally different than the one we had before. Let's go. And for this one, I'm actually going to have to fast forward again in case it's going to take a long time to load adventure number 2. There we go. All right, so now we're in the second section. This is controlled, ladies and gentlemen, with the keyboard. D to move right, A to move left, X to move down, and my objective here is take the dragon out. So from a side view perspective, I'm going to go in and attack the dragon. So it's switched to action without getting burned up. So I'm making my way in. You can see, look how much it's chugging along. So I'm stabbing that dragon. Got to get it. Oh, and he got me. So he kills me, and you die at the hand of the dragon. And I think it's going to just reload us back on the second scene. Yeah, there you go. So you get to try again. So it's almost like they give us checkpoints in an adventure game. But I mean, look at this. It switched from what we were expecting, like a graphic adventure game, to this. Oh, he got me again. So you got to stab him in the right spot to kill the dragon. But can you believe they did this? And it looks like it's done with Petsky characters. I can't pin down, because I know they're doing something with the dragon's neck to duplicate it, but it's obviously, it's just so bizarre. Die! You gotta stab this guy. No! He burned me up again. You have to get him right below the neck, and then the dragon dies. I would be so confused, though, if you were expecting an adventure game, and then this comes up of what you need to do next. But we're starting to see this as a trend of let's get new scenes that people can play. Let's show people something to look forward to, or what's going to be next in the game, and that's what this is doing. Too crazy. And we're just dying over and over again. It's just a dying kind of night here. I actually like this. I'm used to video games that are very, very difficult. Stab! Go, go, go! I think we got him right here. One more up top. Yeah! There we go. Then you kill the dragon off, then you load the next section of the game, and then it turns into a totally different game again. I see, I'm with you, Manly. Yes, that's true. You could just cheat and load the next part. I'm sure you could. All right, so now let's go to the next chapter. Same one we did before. And now the third chapter is going. I'm going to fast forward to the next one. Loading Adventure 3. And then we are in. So now we are in a first-person maze, or first-person perspective for... let's turn to the right. Right. Forward, left. A, S, D. Oh, now the maze isn't responding for me. It's got to be a different... Did they switch up? Hold on a sec. So whenever we started on the first-person view, it told us to go L to turn left, R to turn right. And then we went to the dragon view. It switched the controls up completely. It did controls like W, A, D, and X to move around on the dragon view. But now here, it's not responding to either of those. So what is going on? Is it B? That means they switched the controls up again for this mode. I wonder if it's the cursor keys. I don't believe it. Yeah, so they've changed it again for this mode, where you go through the maze, but it's not even responding to that. I wonder if it's... Yeah, so bizarre. Or it's possible that this part of the cassette is corrupted and it won't let me play any further than that. Well, I'm happy for the first part because I was able to get past the dragon and see the first two scenes, but you can see what else this has. This has not just the dragon and then the 3D maze, then it goes to the next section, which is a top-down view like Dungeon Quest, where you dungeon crawl around, and your character looks really similar to the original TRS-80 characters. And then you have another scene after that. So while we didn't get to the next scenes, I want to see them. I want to see what's next. So I'm probably going to do what Curtis recommended in chat. Just go, yeah, I thought it was joystick, but no, it wasn't joystick that time. I tried joystick, the cursor keys on the VIC-20, the usual ADXY, and then I also tried another one they've done is I, J, K, and M to move around, and then the other one. So this one obviously needs more documentation to know how to play it, but can you imagine the ambition? It's too crazy. It's a really difficult one to score because as far as graphic adventure games go, I was saying one of the best ones presented was the Sands of Egypt that we've seen so far. But this one, it's choppy and it's different, but it's doing things in very ambitious for 1982. So Wizard and the Princess, man, that's a tricky one. I really want to see all the different game modes. I'm going to go as high as 4 stars for this. Oh, I'm already seeing in the chat 4 stars. Yeah, we're going to say of all the games you can play on a home computer, this one's awesome. I want to see what the next scene is, and I applaud Clifford for going this far. That's so cool. Yeah, 4s all around. Yes, for a VIC-20 game right now, yeah, I'd say 5. Wow. Pleasantly surprised. I wonder if this got lost because it's the same name as the Sierra Online one, which we've already seen twice here on the channel. All right, with that, let's see what our next game is. We're back on the TRS-80 color computer, and this is Yahtzee 1, or just Yahtzee. This one, we only have the advertisement flyer, which we've seen before. I don't even think Yahtzee, it's down at the very bottom. All it says is where Yahtzee is for 13 bucks. Yeah, we've seen this ad before, but that's it as far as artwork goes. Let's pop in and play some Yahtzee by Gary Brown, Bob Moran, and Paul Herter at sometime in July 1982. This one's another one in BASIC. Let's do it. I can't believe Wizard and the Princess. I first went into it thinking it was the port of Wizard and the Princess from Sierra on the VIC-20, but nope. All right, do you want instructions? Sort of. I guess we should know how to play Yahtzee. Now, Yahtzee can be played up to 9 players. 9 players? You can play 9 people of Yahtzee? I don't think we played any game with this many players. I'm trying to think. 6 has been one of the most we've seen. 9 players of Yahtzee, though. That's pretty impressive. You need to use the enter keys to enter the number of names. Well, we're not playing with all 9. The computer's going to roll the dice for you the first time. You have to decide how many dice you're going to re-roll because it's Yahtzee. And then choose what category you want to score it under. If you score that category 0, the computer will print, and the section cannot be scored again. And yeah, first Yahtzee score 50 points. Let's say you get a second Yahtzee for 5 4s. Nice. That's true. It is kind of like proto. Yes, because it switches to different places. That's a good point. Yeah, different views. And it did give me a little bit of vibes of the King's Quest, being able to move around on the side like that. We'll give you another 50 points for a score of 20 under 4, so it's breaking down the scores for us. So always enter 5 of a kind as Yahtzee. If all scores are filled in, you got an extra turn for double Yahtzee. How many players are going to play? Let's play with 2. We're not going to play with all 9. I'll start with Chrono, and then last person in chat was Manly. Does it fit all the letters? Let's see. So Chrono's up. This is our first roll, and what you see there is pretty much the only graphics you're going to see of this game. And fun fact, the 3 developers of the game, Gary Brown, Bob Moran, and Paul Herter, they put in their high scores, actual scores of Yahtzee as the high scores in the game. Nice touch, guys. All right, so what do we want to re-roll here? Let's re-roll through that one. Oh, I see, because you have to pick the different ones. So you decide which dice you want to roll or re-roll, and then you enter the score you want to put for Yahtzee. So, yeah, it's Yahtzee. The biggest impressive thing I'd say is it's for 9 people. So who wants to party and play some virtual Yahtzee in 1982? Here you go. You can play this one. But that's all I'm really going to do for Yahtzee on the Coco. It does get the job done, though, if you want to play some. As far as all the games you can play on a home computer, though, who's clamoring to play Yahtzee? I'd say maybe 2.5 stars, if you think of all the games you can play on a home computer. It's kind of like, even if we had the perfect, best game of Yahtzee you could ever play, would you even want to rate that 5 stars? Because it's what's your mileage on playing a game of dice? Yeah, I see Curtis with 2. I'm going to go 2 of all the games you could play. There's going to be other Yahtzees there, and there was even another one, Yahtzee. I don't think we checked that one out, or it was missed because we already had enough Yahtzee here on home computers. All right, so after Yahtzee 1, let's see what our next game is. The very last game of July 1982, it is Zor. The first one we're going to play is on the ZX81, or the Timex Sinclair 1000. Let's take a look at Zor. Oh yes, 2 mighty robots are designed for one purpose, to fight to the death. In the style of a medieval duel, or medieval duel, you must do battle with the champion of Zor to save the planet Earth. Alright, Zor. Sweet. Notice that the front of the box is advertising both the Timex Sinclair and the ZX81. That's interesting. Let's see the other art we have for Zor. There's the cassette we're going to pop in to play, and then instructions on the left. It shows you a little bit about the game, but man, it's weird. This one's a weird one. Let's pop in and play our cassette tape to play some Zor, developed by Pixel Productions, published by International Publishing and Software at some time in July 1982. All right, let's do some instructions. You're on a remote, barren planet to do battle with a champion from Zor to try to demonstrate Earth's supremacy in robotic war gaming. You are equally energized for battle with 2,500 megajoules and each have a 2-proton missile and 4 neutron shells, which are self-energized, but your energy weapons and force shield use up precious energy. There's our plasma bolt, laser cannon, sonic disruptor that we're going to be using to attack, and then our shield energy is when sensors warn us the enemy is about to fire. You must set your primary shield between levels 0 and 9. Yes, that's true. This was both Europe and North America. Yeah, good point. Energy drain depends on the shield level set on how long it's held. If you suffer a direct hit, a secondary shield self-activates but drains your energy reserves quickly, absorbing the blast. Now, this one is another unique title. It's essentially we're going to be playing a robot-on-robot fight or a one-on-one fighting game, but it's all strategy and tactical. It's not robots we designed like Robot War by Silas Warner, and it's not where we're having to decide where they move. It's literally putting in commands of which what action we want the robot to perform to win the battle. Zor is about to land on the planet's surface. Let the battle commence. So get ready for the weirdest one-on-one fight you've ever seen, because it's all going to be text, or for the most part text. Oh, I see, man. That's a good point about the board games. Yes. So Zor Proton Class Battle Robot. There we are. There's our enemy. And that's what we get for graphics. I love how they do that on the ZX81. So we got the enemy range, energy level, activate primary shield. Let's do a shield of 3. Oh, we're hit by the missile. We weren't fast enough. Weapons are primed. Let's do this. Fire proton missile. Enemy in range, shows what level enemy's firing. And so you need to make the decisions on your keyboard. We've got our shields up, you can see. We're hit by the enemy missile. Let's go for energy reserve shields intact. And the whole thing is described, well, it does have a little bit of animation at the bottom. Everything you do, I'm not fast enough. You fire off the commands that you see above, you put that on your keyboard and then it attacks the other enemy. All right, let's get some missiles out there. Weapons primed. Go, go, go. Missiles, yes. And then it goes on their view, shows the... For some reason, I'm reminded of playing like a Japanese visual novel, that it's doing cuts, showing you where the action is, and it switches back and forth like a mech battle. But that's what this reminds me of. But we haven't seen anything like that. Yeah, this is the only thing, but it is very simple. All you're doing is deciding what shield and attack you want, and then you keep going back and forth until you win. And it is only one player game, so we're only playing against the computer, and that's it. Neutron shell, go! You only can do one thing at a time. So whenever you need to make an attack, you only shoot one missile or one neutron shell, and then it gives you your stats, telling you how much energy you have left, or shields, and so forth. Yeah, the graphics are pretty cool, right? So it's constant text, and all I'm doing is making decisions on what I want to fire. And there it is, me shooting another missile out there. If someone walked in the room right now, if it was 1982, and they wouldn't know what I was doing. It just looks like we're watching scenes play in front of us, but with the awesome ZX81 graphics. So there you go, a quick taste of Zor. Of all the games you could play, it's really light on the controls. So while they did give you some graphics to show what you're doing, there's not a whole lot of options you have to make the gameplay exciting or fascinating. And we've played better strategy games for home computers, but ZX81 is or the Timex Sinclair 1000 is like a bare bones, if you want to call it the home computer. Yeah, the font of the ZX81, yes, very nice. So of all the games you could play, though, Zor, because of its the lacking of gameplay, it's cool that it's being able to display the graphics and give us the decisions to make, but I'm going to say bad. It's 2 stars of all the games you could play on a home computer. I do enjoy those ZX81 graphics, though, but that's not all. We also have Zor on the Commodore VIC-20. I actually found this one later. I realized that there was one out later, but it was in German. And I thought it was only going to be in German, so we wouldn't be able to play it. But then I realized the text changes it, and it comes back. So here you go. This is Zor for the Commodore VIC-20. All we have is a few screenshots, so let's pop it and play some Zor. This was packaged on the same cassette as another game called Subspace Striker a little bit later. And if you get a chance to check out Wargaming Scribe, he's done Zor, which there you go, in German, Battle of the Robots. And then it starts here, and I didn't think we'd be able to get any further on the Commodore VIC-20, but if you keep going, look, go past the German, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we're in English. I think it goes German and English. You're equally energized for battle with 2,000 megajoule units of energy. You each have 2 proton missiles and 4 neutron shells, which are self-energized. However, energy weapons and Force Shield deplete your energy as follows. It shows this, if we use stuff to attack, it's going to bring stuff down. This one has the same attack that we could do before. Yep, and there we go, shield energy. Zor's about to land on the planet. Let the battle commence. Oh, so we got color. Looks really similar, though. They took almost the same character set and tried to convert it on the Commodore VIC-20 here with some color effects. Nice touch. Zor has landed. All right, I'm ready. Switch to sensor scan. Oh, very nice. Gives me sci-fi feels all over. Enemy identified as Mark V Proton Class Battle Robot. Weapons more accurate than Earth's, but reactions are slower. Visual follows. Oh, and there we are. Yeah, it looks the same with a little bit of color. So still using Petsky character set. Nice. We're obviously the robot on the left. Obviously. Enemy range, enemy shield, and then enemies firing. Okay, if it's the same commands, I'm ready now. Get the shields up. Quickly. Missile near miss. Good. Shields intact. And now we make our decisions. Yeah, so it's essentially the exact same game. Go, missiles. Oh, nice. And we got the sound effects. I don't know. Would you call this a 2.5 because it has sound effects? I'm still going to say 2 because the gameplay is essentially the same. It's just adding a splash of color. And then I make my attack. So you have to do it quick, almost like a quick time event. Put the command in that you want, and then when the enemy's going to attack, see, enemy's firing. Now we got to get shields up. Give me a chance to raise shields. I think I was too slow. 2.25, yeah. If we could, then I would, yes. I'm going to still keep it at 2. Zor isn't something that everyone was clamoring out to get at the time. Oh, neutron shell. That's right, you learn a little bit of German. The Battle of the Robots. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Oh, I am seeing 2.5 from the chat. The peer pressure. I don't know. I already enjoy the graphics of the ZX81 or the ability to create graphics from nothing. So yeah, I'm still gonna go with 2. Zor is interesting. If it had a little bit more to the gameplay side, then yes, but it's essentially the same idea. You're just doing a couple of commands and deciding what you want your robot to do, but you don't have anything extensive like options to move the robot, options to design the robot, or make changes to anything. It's essentially some quick time events. Going to be really popular once we see Dragon's Lair in 1983. All right, after Zor, this marks the end of July 1982. We played everything in July 1982. If anything was missed, if you're like, you didn't play the certain game in July, let me know and we'll go back and play that one. All right, so now it's time to press on to August, the first games of August 1982. Our first game is Alien Command on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is the first game, at least one of the first games you could play in August of 1982. Let's take a look at the box for Alien Command. Yes, probably you could make that. So the front of this box is, wow, you can tell that the ZX Spectrum is brand new. It looks like a generic space shooter. And then we also have, yeah, that's basically it. With an example of the screenshot. Other versions, this was released, we're going to be playing one of the re-releases instead of the original that I could find. Let's pop in and play Alien Command by Gary Capewell and JHNG, published by Yega Software and Microware at the beginning of August 1982. Let's go. Alien Command. Defend 3 city bases, attack landing aliens, bonus score by remaining city bases, and I'm going to say it's Space Invaders, right? It's got to be, right? There's our controls. So look down at your spongy chiclet ZX Spectrum keyboard. You're going to go left with 5, 8 to move right, and then 0 to fire. And that's it for control. So left, right, and fire. Touch the keyboard when you're ready. Let's go. Yes, it is Space Invaders. So this is... Okay, so I'm getting bearings of the controls. I got my left, right. Where's my fire? There it is. All right, so I am... Wow, it's so clunky to move left and right. Gosh, that's really, really terrible. And here's the thing, though. Look at my shots. There is a barrier. There's a wall at the top. I can't even fire past the barrier until they make... No way. So this is like impeded Space Invaders. They're making Space Invaders harder because you have to fire the shot through the... Can I even kill one of the Space Invaders? This is so bad. It's got to be glitched. Look, they're making a little... There's a little tiny hole that they break open. I don't think I can... No way. This can't be a real game. Is this real? Is Alien Command real? I can't even destroy one of them. No way. Hey, but there you go. That's what we've been missing in video games. Some cussing. Before Qbert made it popular, because we haven't seen Qbert yet. Looks like whenever we die, we... I like that. Yeah, this is so bad. Now, it is doing explosions at the bottom of the screen, very similar to Astro Invader or Kamikaze that we saw in the arcades, but it's essentially just Space Invaders, and it's so bad. I don't understand why they made a barrier like Reverse Gorf in front of us. That's just terrible. If I could, I'd give 0 stars. Alien Command is a 0.5. It's the lowest that our rating will go. Broken. How do you even play it? Can anyone play it? Yes, I'm seeing 0.5s. If we can say 0, then we will say 0. Wow. Man. Now, just imagine, the ZX Spectrum was a mail-order computer. So people that ordered it were getting it months after they put in their to pay for it. So imagine if you got the system, and this was your first game on the ZX Spectrum ever. This could possibly have been someone's first game. What a terrible experience on the ZX Spectrum. Yes, hopefully it is, because, man, that's bad. That is so bad. All right, let's see what our next game is. We're going back to the Commodore VIC-20, and here we are playing Alien Invasion. Let's take a look at Alien Invasion, starting with the box. That one just looks trippy. I don't even know if it's the real front of the box. Another... Oh, it's got to be a Space Invaders again, right? We haven't left. I thought we were going to see all the Space Invaders games in the 70s. Let's pop it and play. Alien Invasion by Matt Dudzik and Nick Dudzik, published by Computer Matt in the beginning of August 1982. Here we go. This is another title that we're going to see later on the Commodore 64, which we haven't seen yet. Almost every one of the Commodore VIC-20 games that we've been playing in the summer, they're just going to have another re-release on the Commodore 64. All right, we're ready to go. How do we play this? Aliens descend from space to land on your planet. They succeed. Yes, yes, yes. It's got to be Space Invaders. Z and X keys control the ship of your movement. You can shoot lasers with the F7 key, so F7 is fire. You can fire one laser at a time. It sounds like Space Invaders. Yep, there's 20 levels at play. Higher levels, there's more aliens. If you destroy the alien in exactly the right order, you'll receive an extra ship. It's easy to remember the proper order on low levels. Okay, there is... They named all of the enemies. My gosh. Sunglasses, Castle Throat. Wow. Bugface, Pumpkinhead. They have that many enemies? All right. That's promising, I guess. You play on level 5. You destroy the one worth 50 points and the one worth 40, etc., and move on. To skip instructions next time, shift lock. Okay, wait as the game loads. We are not waiting. We're fast-forwarding. All right, how many players do you want to play? 4 players. That's interesting. We're going to go with 1 player. Because this, whether you do 4 players or not, it's alternate play. Name of player 1. Oh, we can put our name in. All right. Chrono it is. Starting at level 1. Let's go. All right, so remember the controls. We'd be using Z and X and then F7 to fire. Here we go. So I'm moving left and right. It is very, very tile-based shooter. But you can see all I have is 1 enemy. So it's technically not Space Invaders. Oh, okay. It worked. We got a bonus man, hit space. Now it's telling me I need to shoot that guy first for level 2. Okay, so now we get 2 enemies for level 2, and if I shoot this guy first and then go for the other one, let's see if it'll let me do it, and then go for the other guy, it'll give me another bonus life. So it's a procedural shooter. You got to shoot him in the correct order. I got to say we haven't seen that. And then level 3, shoot that guy first. I'm not referring to his name. All right, so we go for that guy. Got it. Okay, then we go for... Let me see if it's the same order. We'll do that guy, and then go for this one. But there's not a lot of challenge because they're only attacking me one at a time. How bizarre. What a bizarre shooter. Space Invaders concentration. That's it. All right, hit this guy first, okay? All right, I see him over there. So yeah, that means if we get to level 20, they're going to have 20 characters on the screen. But bear in mind, notice that they're only moving one... Oh, wait, no. I thought they were moving one at a time, but I guess not. They're taking their turns. So it's like a slowed-down version of Galaxian, where the enemies are like, okay, wait, Bob, you go. Now wait for Stan to go. Now after Stan goes, then you do your turn. So they're all taking their turns to attack me, which is really nice. It's the nicest version of Galaxian I've ever played. All right, we got to go for that guy over here. Yeah, and you just work your way. Every level is just going to add on more enemies, and you just keep playing and try to get the correct order of enemies down. But it's not like the enemies are changing their tactics. Yeah, they're all moving the same thing. They just look different. That's a weird one. I got the idea. It is an alien invasion, but it's not exactly like Space Invaders. It's still bad. Of all the games you could play on a home computer, it's the speed that throws it off. I'd say it's still around the 2-star range. Yeah, I'm 1.5. I could be with you on that too. It's trying something different though, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'll do 1.5 stars for Alien Invasion. There's a lot better out there on the home computer. All right, and with that, let's see our next game. We are traipsing through August of 1982, playing every video game, still on the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Alien Panic. Wait a second, Panic? That sounds familiar. Let's take a look at the box for Alien Panic. So the first time I saw this was released was in North America by Nufcop, and here is the box for Alien Panic. Yes, it is a Panic variant that you could play. This is another one we're going to see later on the Commodore 64, but still don't know what that is. Haven't seen it yet. Flip it over in the back. You can see this requires the cassette or disc drive and joystick. Race against the competition of time and points as your guy digs holes to trap aliens in a 4-story laddered construction site. So it is Space Panic or Apple Panic now on the Commodore VIC-20. Bear in mind, we've already seen Apple Panic on the VIC-20, so this is just another Panic variant. And then all the other games by Nufcop. Oh yes, yeah, they were in Compute Magazine. We've even done some. The box, does look like a Mario ripoff. That's kind of weird. That's almost like we come full circle because obviously the first side view platformer, one of the first I should say, was Space Panic in the arcades, and then we saw Donkey Kong that allows you to jump, and then here we're back again with a Panic game, but the guy looks like Mario. Whoa, yeah, or maybe Luigi, but we don't know who that is. We don't know who that is. And then for other artwork, besides this one, it was also released in Europe by Bubble Bus Software. And this is the one you would have seen on the VIC-20 in the United Kingdom. And then there's the cassette for Bubble Bus. You can see over there, located in Kent. With an example of the screenshot. And we have the different versions that we could be playing. Yeah, from the different regions. Let's pop in the first one, which to my knowledge was sent by Nufcop. Scott Elder did this one, published by Nufcop and Bubble Bus Software in the beginning of August 1982. Oh, that's just weird looking for Apple Panic. I'm sorry, Alien Panic. We're not playing Apple Panic. And we're in. Look at that. All right, so let's dig some holes. Got them, nice. Man, those aliens are moving way too fast. Let's see if we can get some there. It is moving at a really brisk pace, and I'm not extending any RAM. This is unexpanded VIC right here, so it should be the speed we're expecting it to play as. And it is working with the Commodore VIC-20 joystick, which feels much better considering the last few titles where I was using keyboard commands and using F7 to fire a shot. Uh-oh, this isn't good. Get out of the way. Why are none of them taking the bait? I've already dug 4 pits. There he is. Got one. Let's drop the other one. Oh, man. Yeah, it's almost like we've sped up. Alien Panic is... Yeah, Alien Panic is like Apple Panic or Space Panic on steroids. For masters only. But the character that I'm playing as, and the other characters we've seen that look like this on the Commodore VIC-20, really make me think of Lode Runner, which we haven't seen yet. Lode Runner does not exist. Yes, it hasn't happened yet. But the idea for Lode Runner happened from this, this is so bizarre playing this with a character that looks close to Lode Runner, but we haven't seen it yet. I don't think it will. That's a good point. Maybe if we talk to Scott Elder and find out when the time frame was, because Lode Runner is right around the corner. It's so close. Oh yeah, and Mr. Do. We'll be seeing that one soon too. They're all based though on Hyonkyo Alien. I can confirm that one was first of let's dig a hole and capture an alien in it. Hyonkyo Alien did it first, and everyone copied that one. So there you go. It's a fast-paced game, plays pretty well. I would say of all the games you could play in for a home computer, Alien Panic is all right. I'm going to say 3 stars. Smooth, controls well, not doing anything particularly better or well. It is a little clunky because of how quick it is. The aliens move really, really fast. But what would you say? Of all the games you could play on a home computer, would you bump this up? Would this be something higher than that? Because it's essentially doing what Space Panic did and Apple Panic. It's the same idea. It's not going to the extent of Lode Runner where you have an objective and different levels. It's the same thing every single time. I'm looking over. Yeah, I'm seeing 3 stars. So yeah, if you thought Lode Runner was the original, Lode Runner got the idea from Space Panic or Apple Panic, which still blows my mind that we saw Apple Panic on lots of different computers, even though it was originally on the Apple computer, because that's why they called it Apple Panic. I don't know. Some things don't make sense. This channel should prove with video games, if you think something's going to make sense, it's not going to happen. Yes, I don't know why Space Panic means dig a hole. If you're in space and aliens are attacking you, why would you want to dig the hole? I know why. Because you want to copy Hyonkyo Alien. That's why. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. Tune in next episode as we continue our trek with the beginning games of August 1982, and we get to play the very first game on the best home computer sold. That's it for today, and like I always say, don't judge a video game by its cover unless the cover has a screenshot of the video game. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.